I held out my right leg and pulled my nightgown up to my thigh. My knee was dark purple and twice its normal size. "What did those rotten scallywags do to you?" he bellowed, slamming his hands on the armrests. "Nothing." I fell out of my own clumsiness. I automatically defended, before remembering how they treated my friends. "But your men killed all of my servants? They showed them no mercy." "Those weren't my men, but I apologize for their actions, nonetheless." He pulled the hood of his coat over his head and stood. Taking several long strides toward me, he picked up 2 curved blades. Grabbing one in each hand, he slowly raised his right arm and walked even closer to me until the tip of the blade was touching my chest. "I don't want you to misconstrue my generosity, Señorita Mercado." He shook his head. "You are my prisoner until such a time as I see fit to release you. Meanwhile, you will do well to remember your place. Is that clear?" Henry handed me a silver dagger. I took the light, sleek object and turned it in my hand. Tuck it into my leather belt, I continued to wait, attack, capture, and rob. "That's correct," he said. "Now, get out of the way before you get hurt. We're gaining on them quickly." The Dutch put up a good fight, so lock yourself in and wait for me. Multiple, fiery explosions appeared on the side of the Dutch vessel, shuddering at the thunderous sound of 3 sequential booms. I waited for impact. "Bear down and release the kedge. Prepare to fire." Kincaid shouted, "Fire in the hole." A blast from one of our own cannons came after the warning. 4 or 5 identical alerts and explosions followed it, sending wooden splinters from the other vessel flying into the air. Another shot left the Dutch ship, and it hit our port side almost point blank. The entire ship shook as our bow rammed the enemy vessel. Smaller shots from pistols rang out the battle had truly started. "We hebben we higher." Someone pushed a blade against my back, and I froze. Slowly turning my head, I put up my empty hand and did my best to conceal the dagger in the other. The man's eyes darted up and down, quickly surveying every inch of me. "Goad. Goad." He nodded and smiled. His crazed look sent a shiver up my spine, and I squeezed the hilt of my dagger so hard it hurt my palm. A blade suddenly emerged from the Dutchman's belly. His eyes widened, and the expression on his face changed from delight to horror. The weapon withdrew as quickly as it went in, and the man clutched his stomach as blood oozed from between his fingers. "What are you still doing up here? Are you trying to get yourself killed?" Captain Kincaid yelled at me above the growing melee. He didn't let me answer and instead grabbed me by the arm, squeezing my flesh against the bone. Leading me toward the cabin, he parried off an attacker before opening the hallway door and pushing me inside. "Lock yourself in," he instructed before slamming the door. In the semi-darkness of the hut, Captain Kincaid sat up, took a swig from a bottle in his hand, and smiled. "Expecting someone else, love? I need your help," he said, revealing a dark line running down his left cheek. "I want you to do it." He motioned toward the water, a rag, needles, and a spool of thread. "You're going to need to shave," I said, putting the rag down. He pulled a wide knife from a silver sheath on his baldric. Turning the handle toward me, he smiled. "You do it." I dipped the whole cloth in the water, squeezed out the excess, and wrapped it around his face. Letting it soften the hair, I began the shave. Holding the blade perpendicular against the skin, I slowly pulled it down against the grain. "Looking for something?" he asked, a slight amusement playing in his tone. "No," I lied. "Not even this?" Kincaid held up the dainty, bejeweled weapon. That's not mine. Yes. Well, I guess technically it isn't. But Henry did give it to you. He offered it to me. Go ahead. Take it. Why are you giving it back? Aren't you afraid I'll use it on you? He chuckled. You've had a much larger blade against my neck for a while now. If you wanted to hurt me, you would have already. What if I use it to get away? I wouldn't recommend that. You wouldn't get far anyway. You'll need me if you ever want to get back to civilization and, of course, to your father. I picked up the needle and thread. Was it actually worth it? Sacrificing 6 of your men for whatever you looted off the Dutch? He picked up the bottle and drank. In hindsight, of course not. I pinched the 2 edges of the split skin together. Captain Kincaid endured the pokes by squeezing his eyes shut. You're really good at this. My men owe you their lives, he said as I finished one knot. No thanks to you. You were more interested in the plunder than their well-being. He emptied the last of the contents into his mouth. You're quite beautiful, he murmured. And you're drunk. I suppose I am loaded to the gunwales. He nodded. But that hasn't made me blind. In a spontaneous attempt to test how drunk he really was. I tried something? Thank you, Alistair, I said. He pushed my hand away and sat back, vehemently shaking his head. Oh no. Don't call me that. My father's Alistair, not me. Oh, really? Well, technically I am also Alistair Kincaid. But no one ever calls me by that name. What do they call you then? He straightened his posture. Captain, of course. Even your friends? He sighed. I don't have any friends, Anna. We could be friends, I said. Look at us getting along like civilized people right now. I bet we have plenty of things in common. You're my prisoner? That's all. Now stop talking and finish your work, he snapped.